Wyatt. That's great, right? He's a great guy. And his dad. I did. My name is Swen Nater. I'm place 12 years
Go ahead and continue. Raise up the volume a little bit.
Played with the Clippers, Lakers, Spurs. When they first started, Spurs were in San Antonio in 73. And Virginia Squires in the NBA. New York Magic, but he's off today. New information. And it's a Wyatt. That's great, right? He's a great guy. And his dad. I did. My name is Swen Nater. I'm place 12 years basketball. UCLA.
Go ahead and continue. Raise up the volume a little bit.
Played with the Clippers, Lakers, Spurs. When they first started, Spurs were in San Antonio in 73. And Virginia Squires in the NBA. New York Magic, but he's off today. Those guys. The finals against the Celtics. We lost the Celtics fans here. Okay, I'll speak to
We already had that.
I'll tell you my story if you don't mind. I was born in Holland, Netherlands, right next to Germany. Sorry. In 1950. When I was 3 years old, my mom and dad divorced. There were 3 children. My sister was the oldest, I was the second. And I was 3 at the time, and my brother was a year old. And so, when we divorced, when my mom and dad divorced, my mother could only handle one child, which would be my little brother, right? So my sister and I went to a friend's house to stay. We didn't see her very often, even though Holland's a very small country, it's outside Rhode Island. We didn't see her very often. But then she met my stepfather, who would be my stepfather. And then they came over to that house where we were staying one day, and they told us that we were going to go to America. And I was really excited about it, because you guys never heard of Roy Rogers, but that was my hero. Roy Rogers was a cowboy on a TV show. He wasn't really a cowboy. He was just a cowboy on a TV show. But every Wednesday at this house, they had a TV, and the only TV in the neighborhood. All the kids in the neighborhood would go and watch Roy Rogers, and that's the only TV show that's all black and white. And so I thought I was going to go to America and be Roy Rogers. The only problem is that my stepdad then said, but you guys are not going, to my sister and I. We're going to take your little brother with us, and we're going to send for you when we get the money. So they left for America. And my sister and I stayed there, but those people couldn't take us very long. There was hardship, 2 kids, especially me. I was eating a lot, probably caused a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble, because I was really mad about the divorce and all that. So they moved us to a foster home, and then we didn't stay there very long. Went to another foster home, another foster home. It's about 3 or 4 foster homes we stayed in. Ended up in an orphanage finally. And this was now 1959. So we're in 55, they left, so 4 years later, we're receiving letters from my mother, all the promises, but never anything happening. And I'm thinking, we're going to stay here forever. We're never going to get to America. We're never going to see my mom and my little brother again. So, in September of 1959, at the orphanage, we were called into the office. There was the director of the orphanage, and then another lady in a uniform was there, and it was explained to us that we were going to be flown to Los Angeles. What happened was, some friends of my mom and dad in America, Quakers, went to a TV show called It Could Be You. Could Be You was a show that surprised people when they needed something. And they said, you got to bring these kids over because that stepdad of theirs has no plans of bringing them over at all. So they said, we'll do it. So we got on a KLM prop jet from Amsterdam to New York, switched planes to an American jet from New York to Los Angeles, landed there, checked into the Beverly Hills Hotel. Now the flight on the way down was really interesting because I found out shortly, once we get up in the air, that when you ring that little bell up there, you get anything you want. So I had ice cream and Coke, I got sick. And there was a guy in the seat across the way with no seat next to him. And he was looking at me, I was looking at him, and my sister, I was sitting next to my sister, I was getting really tired of that. Because every time I rang that bell, she'd elbow me, you know, do that anymore. I went over and sat next to him, but he was drinking scotch and drunker than a skunk. And he was talking some language, I think it was English, I didn't know any English. So I was talking gibberish to him, and he was talking whatever language he was talking back to me, so it was like, we're having a conversation. For lack of anything better to do. So we got to Beverly Hills Hotel, and I found out you can have room service at no charge, so chicken for the first time. See, at the orphanage, we had meat about once a week. Rest of the time was vegetables and potatoes. So I took advantage of that, went into the pool. But then that next day, it was time to practice for the show. What was going to happen was, my mom and stepdad were invited by those Quakers to go to that show because they said they had free tickets. And my mom and dad said, yeah, we'd love to go. They did not know that they were going to be called on stage, reunited with my sister. So we practiced coming out of a little windmill. You know, Holland's famous for wooden shoes and windmills. Anybody here from Germany or know anything about Germany? Okay. You know where they have windmills in Holland? Well, we also have cows that do a lot of pooping, right? So the windmills are all facing east toward Germany. They blow all that stink over there and bring it back from the war. That's a whole other story of the war. My mom and my grandpa had Jewish people in their house away from the Germans. On their way to other families would, you know, they go from here, stay here a while there, and eventually get them out of the country. It was a very good effort. My uncle, my mom's brother, was part of the resistance there. So he would tip them off whenever the Germans would be about to come over. And they'd make sure to hide everybody. Tough time. So we practiced, and the next day we get to the show, and the windmill about this big, and the curtain's drawn, right? And so this host, his name was Bill Layden. It was a long story of how they get it. The camera pans around and focuses on you, and then it'll pan around and focus on you. And every time it focuses on somebody, the camera would say, or the announcer would say, it could be you. But it wasn't, right? It could be you. It could be you. He finally focused in on my mom and stepdad. Mr. and Mrs. Langberg, that was my stepdad's name. It could be you and it is you. And say they were got guided up the steps to the stage, and the host asked them a couple of questions. Curtain opened. And he asked if they ever seen a windmill, and my mom said yes. And he said, I'll bet you've never seen one like this. They opened up the door, and here we came, and flew into my mom and dad's arms. Me to my mom, my sister to me. So then we got in the car with them afterwards, and getting back to Long Beach in the car, and in Dutch, so I could hear it. My stepdad said, now we got another 2 mouths to feed. He was ticked off that we were there. After all that, he never wanted us to come. Never. He was ticked off. For the next 10 years, from age 9 to 19, it was hell on earth for me at that house. I got beat up on a regular basis. I got whooped with tennis shoes on my lower back to where there were welts. If the schools today see that, my stepdad would be arrested. Back in those days, nothing ever happened. Only cold showers. Took the lock off the bathroom. We could come in and check, and he did on a regular basis. If you felt any warmth in there, bam! No dinner that night. Anything you do wrong, no dinner. Several nights, no dinner. I started getting cavities in my teeth. He never sent me to a dentist. He said, put an aspirin on me. I couldn't fall asleep many nights. I had 4 molars that were gone. I mean gone. There was just this much in that. I tried out for my basketball team in high school. Had I made it, he would have never let me play anyway. But I tried out. I didn't have any shoes. It was early in the year. My mom hadn't bought me a pair of tennis shoes yet for PE. So I tried out for the team in bare feet. It hurt. I love playing basketball. Always loved it. Used to listen to the Laker games on my radio. Little transistor radio underneath my pillow at night. So low so nobody could hear it. Especially my stepdad. Will Champion, Jerry West, Belgian Bailey, still good. He caught me one time and beat the crap out of me. Made me stand in the bathroom with my hands up like this for 2 hours. You know how much that hurt? I didn't make the team. But one day after practice, the coach said, if you don't have a pair of shoes by tomorrow, don't even bother coming out. I was 6'7", ladies and gentlemen, by that time, tallest in the school. Don't even bother coming out. As I left the gym, I saw a pair of shoes sitting there. Size 13, I wore size 11. Somebody had left them by accident. I took it. I wanted to play basketball. I came in the gym the next day wearing those shoes. There was the coach sitting here, and the starting center was standing next to him with no shoes on. They looked at me. Coach said, give me those shoes. Don't ever come back. Don't ever come back. Went to Cypress College, 6'9", 185 pounds, so light I couldn't keep my seat down and move. That'll sink in a second. I was so skinny I could stand sideways, sticking my tongue and look like a zipper. You try another one. You get the point, right? Still living at home. Tried out for the basketball team. Well, when I first got to school, we didn't have a gym, we had outside courts. Good time, huh? And I was sitting there eating my lunch, and I was math. I was a really good math student. Straight A's in math. I was in high school, calculus, all that stuff. Went through a lot of calculus in college. And I was going to do something with it, right? I love math. But I was just sitting there, and this guy comes over, he was assistant coach, and he said, you going to play basketball for us? And I said, oh, no. He said, I'm going to show you a hook shot, and I'll work with you after school. I said, sure. I knew my stepdad wasn't going to let me play. So, his name was Tom Lubin. His uncle's name was Frank Lubin, otherwise known as Frankenstein Lubin. First center, first United States Olympic team, 6'6", great hook shots. All-American UCLA. So I learned a hook shot, and that was my new shot. And then I tried out for the team. And of course I was 6'9", they were just starting out, it was a 2-year-old school, so I mean, problem is, I hadn't told my stepdad yet. So the assistant coach went over to my house and sweet talked my father into letting me play, letting me be on the team. How he did it? But he did. He'd like compliment him on, anything. Well, that's a nice count. dad had birds on the back. So, wow, those are amazing birds. You know, I've never seen birds quite that nice. By the way, this one I have anything on my team. So, by miracle, I was on the team. I sat on the bench. I didn't play much, but I practiced, and I wasn't very good at all. I had really good hands and nice touch. But all I've done at that point was just shoot jump shots, right? Got this hook shot. So I practiced, and then toward the end of the year, I started getting a little better. There was one point, one practice. You know, I wasn't a very good jumper at all when I started. I ended up having a 35-inch vertical at the end. It was a lot of hard work. But then I couldn't touch the rim twice in a row, except for the nine. And one of my teammates, Russ Sharpwood, he said to me after practice, he said, "Swen, you could jump a lot higher if you just explode." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Right now you're jumping almost more." He said, "Bend your knees and just boom." So I tried it, and it worked. I started getting higher and higher and higher. Ladies and gentlemen, they're making all kinds of machines, apparatuses, drills. You can pay a lot of money to get you vertical. But there's nothing better than jumping. You touch that back, and you touch that rim, and like me, go over the square, like that. Just jump. And that's what I started doing. And I got a chance to get in the game. Starting center had, of course, some foul trouble. Orange Coast College. I blocked their center. It was a really good center. Shot twice, scored some points, 15 or something, and got my name in the paper. The next game I came in again as a sub, got 20 points. That summer, I pumped iron, and I went into the ghettos of LA every Saturday to play ball. And most of the time, I was the only white guy there. Almost all of them. But I knew that's where I wanted to play. First time I stood there looking to get in the game, nobody asked me, so I didn't ask them. I ended up walking out after 2 hours, never got to play. As I was walking out, some guy said, "Hey, if you want to play, you got to say, hey, let me run with you. Let me be on your team. How many you got? 3? Let me play." So I came back the next week. And I wasn't good. I wasn't very good. But I learned that if I rebound, I give those guys the ball once in a while, we win, so they're going to pick me again. One time I went in, one time this guy about 6'8", backed me down and corkscrew dunked on me. Just corkscrew dunked on me. And everybody in the gym fell down on the floor laughing. And I was discouraged. On the way home, they would say, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to work on a corkscrew dunk." I came back the next week, same gym, found the guy, played against him, and corkscrew dunked up his play. That happened. So that next year, my stepdad wasn't going to let me play again. In fact, one day, during the preseason workout, I was really tired and asked to go to bed an hour early. He said, "Okay, you can go to bed an hour early, but you quit basketball." He was jealous. I was getting my name in the paper. I was ranked 2nd, 3rd best center in the state already because of my summer leagues. And I said, "All right." So I went to bed an hour early the next morning before school, packed out some extra underwear, some extra t-shirts, a couple extra pair of pants and shirts and socks, and I never came home. I stayed with a friend. I don't recommend you do that, but I had to. Because, you see, nobody is going to stop me from being there. I got recruited by 150 colleges, D1, UCLA, SC, all colleges. They all wanted me. I went to UCLA, even though I knew I was going to play behind Bill Wall. First year I redshirted. Play it off, practice. That's a hard thing, guys. But you know what? I was playing against the #1 team in the country every day. I was playing against Steve Patterson every day. playing against Sidney Wicks, quickest 6'8" I've ever seen. And I got better, but I worked extra. I see guys out here playing around in the game or something, you take a little layup, miss it, take a little jump shot, go here, take that, do a little fall away, and throw one behind the back. We do it behind the back. Now me, I'm taking 5-6 hook shots while you're doing that. You see, I don't want to get beat the next time. I hate getting beat. That's why I came back to coach the government. Next 2 years I played against Bill Walton, got my butt beat a lot. But I kept coming back. By my senior year, I gave everything he could handle. But still, I only played 3 minutes a game. But after my junior year was the '72 Olympics, and Bill Walton got invited, but he didn't want to go. So Coach Wood went to the Olympic committee and said, "Can you just take Swen Nater in your tryouts? Just let him play. He needs some experience." I said, "All right." I led the camp in scoring. I led the camp in scoring. You know how I did it? I figured that when I get in those pickup games, that if I was in the post asking for the ball, I was never going to get it. Right? Right? You don't get the ball in there. So I worked on my outside game, down in Charlie Scott. I was working my crossover dribble, quick pull-up jump shots, and everything. That's what I did there. 26 points a game. Back to UCLA, back on the bench. But at the end of the season, it was a Pizza Hut All-Star game where all the best seniors played. All the best seniors, 12 of them, got invited. Bill Walton got invited. Didn't want to go. Guess what Coach Wood did? Went to the Pizza Hut committee. Said, like 3 toppings. Said, "Get Swen Nater play. He'll be a backup center, but just let him play." He said, "Yeah." I backed up this guy from, I don't know, his name was Mitchell from Kansas. Our practice the day before the game, Mitchell goes up, falls on his back, he's hurt. He can't play. I play the whole game. I scored 35 points and get 26 rebounds. MVP. First round pick. 16 Milwaukee. 5 years before, I wasn't even playing basketball. Never supposed to happen. I'm not going to say I'm some great athlete. I'm a good athlete, but I'm not a great athlete. But this is where it's at. Now, some of you guys, I mean, all you guys probably have hard knocks sometimes, right? How many guys have ever thought about quitting basketball? I know somebody in this area that's really discouraged and wants to quit. Can you quit? It's really good. Don't blame me. But you know, I never think like that. When you get something tough, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to make yourself tough. That's an opportunity to work through something really hard. And if you can work through something really hard 2 or 3 times as you're growing up, you'll have no trouble doing that when you get older. And trust me, it's going to get really tough when you get older. But you'll be trained. I didn't think about that, though. I just wanted to play basketball. I love the game. I love shooting a shot, the guy trying to block it, and he hits nothing but net. I want to say to your mama, but no, I don't do that very well. You know what I'm saying? It's that we're stopping somebody. I averaged, in junior college, I had 26 rebounds a game. In the Milwaukee Bucks, I got 33 rebounds in one game. I got 18 defensive rebounds in the first half, and I still didn't do it. I'm a member of the 30-30 club. I got 33 points and 33 rebounds in one game. In junior college, I got 39 rebounds in a game. And when I was playing, how much time do you have, Coach?
Lots of time.
When I was playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, That was my third year, fourth year. Lonnie Shelton, right here, was a rookie for New York Knicks. On my side, 6'10", 250, 55. Game started, I got 4 offensive rebounds on him in a row and scored. Hubie Brown, the coach, Hubie Brown's now a commentator, which he should be, wasn't very good. Called a timeout and was screaming at Lonnie for the whole timeout. You got that guy in there, get those rebounds, where are you, man? Game resumed. They got the ball, and we got the ball. I went for an offensive rebound. He turned around and blocked me out like this. Just hit me across, just bam! I said, what's up? He started coming after me. So I tagged him with the left, another left, a couple of, hit him with a few rights, and he went down on the ground. I went down after him. It ended up that my head was by his feet. His head was by my feet. He was trying to kick me, and they were getting him off. My grandma, we flew my grandma and my mom in from LA. She was in the stands because the All-Star game was coming up at the Rebel Walk. She came down out of the stands with a person beating on Lonnie's head. I love the rebound. You know what rebounding is? It's turning something good out of something bad. Right? There's a shot. You know, I play with some shooters, like I play with Magic, I play with Lloyd Free, guy never met a shot he didn't like, always shooting. And you know, they're always like this at the end, right? As they release the ball. They think it's going in. I don't think that. In fact, even though he's my teammate, I'm hoping he misses. So I'm going to be, I'm hungry for rebound. So there's a shot. I don't think of it as it hits the rim. I don't think of it as a miss. I think of it as an opportunity to score anyway, just a different way. And I live my life that way, guys. I'm prepared. Well, in rebounding, there's 3 things that are important for rebounding. If you do all 3 of these, you're going to be a good rebounder. First, assume every shot's a miss. Second, get position. Third, go after the basket. I didn't even say anything about blocking that. You do those 3, you assume the shot is missed. Well, all the mistakes in rebounding are made for one. You can blame it on one of those 3 things. First, you didn't assume, you thought the shot was going in, so you never were ready. You didn't get position, you got blocked out. Or somebody got ahead of it. 3, you didn't get after the ball. That's a lot of you guys not going after the basket. That's the most important one. Go get it. If you never block out and go after the ball, you're going to get a lot of rebounds. Blocking out's overrated. I think you should do it at times. When I'm 6'11", and I'm playing against a guy 6'11", I'm just going to tag him and I'm just going to go. Those are the 3 important things in rebounding on the court. In rebounding in life, it's the same thing. Assume things are going to go wrong. Just assume that they could go wrong. Get positioned early. Be prepared for when something doesn't go right. What are you going to do if this doesn't happen? What do you do if you don't get that job? What are you going to do if you still, you go get the opportunity? Because every time there is a miss, there's an opportunity. It happens in life. So I went on to play basketball for 12 years. I was a starter every year except when I played behind Queen, which was really cool. Playing with him and Magic.
Yep. Can you ask for some Q&As?
Yeah.
They know if they don't ask a question, they have 25 push-ups.
Let me just say this. You know, this is good stuff.